not thinking about it.
14 years ago.
Don't you think even now sometimes you say things you're like,
no, unless it's I don't. Yeah. I don't unless it's about a person. Like sometimes it's about people.
Yeah, that's what we learned. We learned to stop making fun of retarded children on the internet because they have families. Well, we do sometimes, but I've had to apologize to multiple families of mentally handicapped people because we've done bits on the show, and I mean, we've gotten into where they would come to me and be like, what is wrong with you? This is like a child that has like Down syndrome. We're like, we had no idea that they.
But then they get on the phone with Lewis and they're like, I didn't mind. It was funny.
The problem is,
didn't that happen? Didn't someone say to you? They were like, I know you're kidding.
Well, no, twice now that happened, and both times I ended up becoming very friendly with the family. They came out to see me at shows. They brought the kid.
Oh, now it's your burden.
Because
that's the problem. Is like you're saying things with your friends like you would normally say.
Right.
Yeah. But then you don't realize.
Ron Bennington calls it corner talk. Just corner talk with the guy.
But there's a real person on the end of these stories sometimes, and that's the thing. The only thing that's changed is I think in the beginning we would just say whatever. There'd be a silly story, and now I'm going like, well, all right, is this person going to hear this? And it's just a normal person who's like, their parents are raising a special needs kid. It's a tough enough life as it is.
Buddy, I felt terrible last time I came in here. When you talked about, I was like, hey, there's that video going around of that girl freaking out, and I was just going like, yeah, it's just like she wasn't ready for this moment, but I didn't say the name on purpose. And there's so many videos on the internet that are like, Jay takes a shit on this girl. And I'm like, no, it's not what I did.
Well, sometimes you say things because you're just talking, and then you realize, like, God, that other person's going to hear that. I did that recently, and I'd like to apologize to this guy. There's this guy named Flint Dibble, who's an archaeologist, and I said, he attacks other archaeologists like Graham Hancock, and he says some terrible things, but what I did was very counterproductive. What I said was, like, these weak, bitchy men, and I named him. And then he tweeted about it. He said, I have stage 4 cancer. And I'm like, fucking forgot he had cancer. I didn't mean him physically. I meant his behavior. But it made me feel bad. So
the guy's got a bitch body that's been
I want to tell him
cancer.
I was wrong. It was what I said I shouldn't have said. There's sometimes I say things and I just think I'm talking with friends. And I realize it's going to hurt someone's feelings on the other. And it's counterproductive. Like, I'm doing the exact thing I'm accusing him of doing. He's attacking other people. I'm attacking him. It's stupid.
And we can be funny with anything. You don't need to like.
But I wasn't even being funny. I was talking to an archaeologist. I just get angry. I got angry at this process that sometimes like established archaeologists are attacking these people who have legitimate ideas. But I shouldn't have done it that way. And you just
like
sometimes
archaeology
you're
is your one passion.
No, it's like I talk about a lot of different things, but I talk too often like I normally talk. Like sometimes when you're talking about like a serious thing, like you probably shouldn't insult people. It comes normal. Like, fuck that idiot. Like it comes out.
Sure.
And you go, shouldn't have.
Yeah, we do that all the time.
You get loose. You get a little too comfortable
Well,
talking.
can I tell you also, that's the smart move I said that Howard Stern did years ago that I'm trying to get better at and do. When you think something's ridiculous, praise it, and then use it, and you could show everybody without having to make fun of it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, right.
They'll make fun of themselves.
Yeah.
That was the
you can
core.
definitely do that. Well, I do that sometimes when I'm questioning people, and I know they're not telling me the truth. And I'll say, wait a minute. So what you're saying is, and so I don't even have to like say that's ridiculous. That's fucking bullshit. Yeah. I just let the internet have it.
Yeah, you go.
You know what I mean? Like Epstein didn't kill himself. Like that kind of a deal. Like okay, like let the internet deal with this. I'm not going to deal with this. This is like I can only be so pushy. When people don't want to talk about a specific thing or want to give you an answer that you think is pretty much gaslighting you. You're like, okay, so that's a real UFO? All right. You might, I have people come in here all the time that I know are bullshitting me. I know they are. Like, I feel it, and sometimes it's just like, all right, what are you going to do?
You'll call them sometimes.
Sometimes, but like sometimes I don't know.
Who was the guy years ago you had an argument with? But it's sometimes when vernacular causes the problem. I feel like at the time you were just like in a rhythm of saying the word bitch at the end of a sentence a lot, and you said something, you're like, come on, bitch, you can't think that way, bitch. And he was like, you're calling me a bitch a lot. You're bullying the shit out of me.
Who was that?
Was it Crowder?
Oh yeah, that's right. There was a weed conversation. Yeah.
And
I thought
like,
I was talking
like,
to him
bitch.
like a comedian, he would just go along with it, and he got genuinely offended.
He was like,
and
I was like, me a bitch. I feel like you're bullying me.
We said we were bullying him because we were like researching information live that was countering what he was saying. It was and he didn't have access to it. I was like, all right, whatever.
So he's being a real bitch.
I was trying to be a good host, and I wasn't. And I was being too like a comic. Like I could talk to you that way, and we would have fun. I could talk to you that way, we would have fun. He wasn't. He was a little serious.
Shit, you can call those a bitch all day.
That's the problem. Some people just
Tee off
get
on this guy.
If you're choking me while I jerk off, you can call me whatever you want.
Some people just get serious, and you don't realize they're serious. Like, oh, you're serious. Like, you're really upset. Because we're so used to talking shit. It's so normal.
Yeah.
Like, when people talk shit about me, I'm like, I would do that. Like, what am I going to do?
You're too famous to not. You can't get offended. You're so big at this point that it's just part of the territory.
That's part of the problem with saying things like about that Flint Dibble guy. You don't think about it while you're saying it. Like, you're saying it to millions of people.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not just talking, you know? And you're like,
guy's dusting off a raptor bone, and you just see a tear hit it because he's listening to you in his headphones. That guy's a dumb idiot.
I genuinely felt bad.
My raptor bone.
But it's like, I actually didn't have a bad time talking to him. We had to confront him on this one thing because he accused Graham Hancock of being attached to white supremacy and this like weird thing about Atlantis. Like, how does that have anything? Like, and he tried to deny it, and we pulled up the quote that he did.
Because Hancock says no blacks in Atlantis.
No, this is like this thing that these people do when they try to discredit things. Like certain academics will do, where they'll connect what you're doing to racism or homophobia. They'll just try to like virtue signal their way into a position where everything you're doing is wrong. And it's the thing about Atlantis is a weird one. It's like it's apparently at one point in time there was some white supremacist that like was pushing the theory of Atlantis being this great white race, but that's not what any of the people that are legitimately trying to research it think.
Well, you think
they think it was in sub-Saharan Africa.
You think black people are going to let their hair be wet all the time? I'm no archaeologist, but I am a bitch.
What do you think Atlantis is? You think they get in the water?
Oh, isn't it the underwater
land
of Atlantis?
The lost city of Atlantis? Yeah, what an idiot, right? I didn't think that either, Joe.
What are we talking about, the Bahamas? What
Atlantis, they believe, was this structure. There was a series of concentric circles that had like a lake running through it. It's like really fascinating because there's this place called the Richard structure in South Africa. And this is another one of those things that archaeologists will argue about because this thing looks like Atlantis. And there's this guy named Jimmy Corsetti, and he gets labeled a Nazi for talking about it. It's like weird stuff, man, where they try to make you look like you're racist for pursuing this idea.
And the people who defend
totally
that, if you defend a person
you're defending racism.
You're defending racism. And
right.
It becomes this whole stupid argument that nobody really believes, and it only exists on the internet.
Exactly.
And nobody in real life gives a shit.
In academia, they believe it. Like, and if they don't believe it, they use it as a tool. And they'll use it as a tool to dismiss you. But this is one of the things that came up during that topic, that when even archaeologists come up with a new timeline for things where it throws the old history into a tizzy, they attack them. Like, and Graham Hancock brought up this concept of Clovis first. They used to think that the Clovis people, like 13,000 years ago, were the first people in North America. And this one guy found evidence of people that lived a long time ago, and they fucking ruthlessly destroyed his career. They attacked this guy, and it turned out he was right. And they found these footprints in White Sands, New Mexico. They're 22,000 years old of human beings. So they were probably living here even before that. But they destroy people that come up with an idea that throws their expertise into question. And that's what they're all doing with Graham Hancock. What they do is he's pointing out that there's some real evidence that perhaps there was an advanced civilization that was thousands of years older than we think civilization started at.
No crime and only 3-pointers.
Well, it is in Africa. That's the fascinating thing. It's all in Africa. Egypt's in Africa. You know, all this sub-Saharan stuff where they think the Richard structure. Let me show them what it looks like. It's crazy because the area, when you zoom out, looks like it was hit with a massive flood. Like everything looked like all water erosion, like it was like massive amounts of water just destroyed the landscape. It still looks like that today. And it's in the exact same plate. Like it's the mountains are north of it, the sea is below it. That's what it looks like. And that is like the size that Atlantis is described in Plato's recollections of it, or Plato's stories about it. You know, there's a lot of debate about it, but the position that it's in and the weirdness of what it is makes a bunch of these ancient history guys that really believe in Atlantis, just like they really believed in Troy. They thought Troy was mythical until they found it, and then they're like, oh geez, Troy was a real thing. So there's a lot of these people that are the gatekeepers of academia, and they don't want anything to be dated older than what they've established and what they've taught in lectures. And
because everything's wrong then?
Everything's wrong. Well, everything is wrong. There's weird stuff like Lebanon. Have you seen those fucking stones in Lebanon?
No.
There's these immense, I think they're called the trilithon stones or the trillion stones. They're so fucking big. And they're supposed to be, somebody's moved these from a quarry and placed them in place. And you look at them like, how? How long ago? And then there's older stuff. There's stuff that's built on top of it. Look at the size of these fucking stones. My
Flintstone theory works here, but I think it's a brontosaurus that a man is controlling.
Baalbek, that's what it is. Look at the size of these fucking stones. And if that one up in the top in the center, right to the right of that, Jamie, that one. So that shows you the size of these fucking stones that are in place. Like if you put a person next to them, they'd be like, these are 5 meters high. That's fucking bananas.
How many miles per hour is that?
I don't know. 5 meters, 25 feet. So those are 25 feet high. 15. Oh, sorry. 3. It's 3. Right. Yeah. Sorry. My math sucks, obviously. But these stones weigh some fucking insane amount. And there's no explanation. Those cornerstones, that's all one giant piece. And how? How the fuck did you do that? And there's a bunch of shit in Malta. They found Neanderthal bones. So maybe Neanderthals were in Malta. And maybe the land bridge was connected. And there's all this confusion about the date of these like ancient structures because it seems like people built other structures on top of them. And when they find stuff like this, there's like this great resistance of anybody to try to like say they don't understand it. They always try to come up with some sort of an explanation, even when it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Wasn't the Colosseum, wasn't it completely underground at one point? They discovered it?
No. The Sphinx was underground. But the head was above it, and then they cleared out the sand. God. The Colosseum
you came off stupid as shit there.
No,
I don't think it was underground. No. The Colosseum has always been there, but they did used to be able to get water in it. They used to have water fights. They have boat fights in it.
It was crazy.
Bro, imagine
really cool shit.
Watching people get eaten by lions in front of everybody. Imagine what that was like.
Well, back then, you understand, they didn't they would have these games, and they would bring in they would have like hunts, and they would have like animal fights and shit like that. But it's like back then to see a giraffe, it looked like an alien. Like they had no idea what they would bring in animals from Africa, like rhinoceros.
Yeah, these people didn't have YouTube. They weren't traveling.
They had no idea. It was like it literally like you're watching aliens fight.
Have you been to the Colosseum?
Yeah, it was incredible.
Do you see those things where they lift them up through the floor and the lions will pop out?
They had underground. They have a whole pulley system where like they have elevators and they would have slaves like pulling people up, and it was a whole show. It was a really cool thing.
I appreciate you saying slaves, Lola.
If they had that right now, we would watch it.
Yeah.
If there's something on YouTube, like I've already seen. Have you seen the night fights where guys dress up in armor and beat the fuck out of each other?
Harrington does the commentary for it. He's like the Joe Rogan of night fighting.
That's so ridiculous, dude.
Yeah, shit.
They hit each other with battle axes and shit.
Yeah.
A scepter strike to the leg.
But it's like if they look tough and then they take their helmets off and they're just fucking virgins. It's like just these really nerdy fat dudes.
Preemptive balding
Some of
people.
them know how to fight though. I've seen ones where guys take guys down, leg kick them.
They're MMA guys that are getting into it. It's just another like outlet.
Another outlet.
Part of the floor of the Colosseum was buried until the mid-19th century.
Oh, you were right. There you go.
I knew. Yeah.
I don't want to correct you. Hypogean floor lay buried under 40 feet of earth. All memory of its function, even existence. What is that? The floor that lifts up? Is that what that is?
Yeah, the floor. There was stuff sticking out of it, and then they went and they uncovered that there was like an entire underground system, like all this shit. It was actually really
did
recent.
Someone cover it up? Did you go back to that description, Jamie? Because I think it explained that someone covered it up.
Well, I mean, they destroyed most of Rome, so I'm sure it was part of it.
I wonder why they did that.
They were using all this shit for
the tour that I did of the Colosseum was boring as shit.
Mussolini fixed it. The guy wasn't all bad.
What were you saying, Jamie? What'd you say?
They were using the pieces of the city for construction or whatever else they were building, new stuff. Same with like the pyramids.
People shit on Mussolini. I'm pulling that right
horrible.
They go, Mussolini, what a monster. I go, clean the floor of the Colosseum.
They did that with the pyramids. They stole the fucking stones from the outside of it.
Yeah,
people are so gross.
Yeah, it was crazy. Well, remember like the Trevi Fountain a few years ago in Rome? They poured like black ink in it or something, just protesters. It was like they literally had to drain the fountain, and it took like however many months to clean it. It was fucked up.
The Colosseum architects made changes to allow new methods of stagecraft. Other changes were accidental. Fire sparked by lightning in 217 AD gutted the stadium, sent huge blocks of travertine plunging into the hypogeum.
What?
That whole area is so nuts.
217.
That's a lot of work.
How do they have those facts?
Colosseum was really cool. I learned more about it. I did like a gladiator training program with my son. They had it was like a little like place you went, and I learned so much about the Colosseum doing that, more than the tour. The tour was boring as shit. I went in like August. It was 110 degrees out. It was insane.
He's aggressively trying to make his son straight.
But that was a cool experience. Like,
dude, it's fucking cool as shit, man.
They didn't kill each other. The gladiators, like, that's all like
it's
lore.
Lies?
That's
they
all
didn't?
lies. It was none of because it was like pro wrestlers. If your gladiator killed another gladiator, the guy who owned that gladiator would have to pay the other guy who owned that gladiator. They were all slaves. So it was all just show. It was like pro wrestling. They would cut each other, but they had like big, like fat bellies, so they wouldn't cut each other's organs. They had to like do it in a certain way. It was all show.
Really?
It did happen once in a while, but that was more rare when you see an actual death.
So occasionally they would fight for real to the death.
I don't even. Yeah, I'm sure occasionally they did.
Where did you get all this information
from? My gladiator training program.
Really?
Yeah.
The guy's certified. I mean, what are you gonna do? Argue the guy's
But like the different weapons and the costumes they would wear and like the type of armor they would wear is like there was like, whatever, like, a couple dozen different types of guys and you'd be like, oh, that's the guy with the fucking mace and like a certain helmet, and it was like it was free as well. All the people in Rome, there wasn't a ticket price. The government would sponsor it, so it was just to get people like, keep them happy. And fucking the richer you were, the closer you were. Like all the peasants would be up in the rafters.
Right.
But
so the movie Gladiators bullshit? Is that what you're
yeah,
trying
a lot
to tell
of it's
me?
bullshit. There was no thumbs down, thumbs up.
What? Common misconception that gladiators always fought to the death. The winner survived and the loser died. Very rarely, and usually with special dispensation from the emperor, would there be sine miso battles, which automatically meant death for the loser, with no chance of being spared. So occasionally they died.
Yeah.
Very rarely they died.
But they were like celebrities. Like the gladiators would come out and they were like,
wow. Some historians say, oh, wait a minute, 1 in 5 died in battle. That's a lot. Others say 1 in 10. Most only lived to their mid-20s, which compared to today's
well, they
average.
would die of their injuries very often. It wasn't like it was fight to the death. They just didn't have medicine.
Stabbed.
Like, yeah, they would get stabbed and get infected.
But Gladiator 2 was right, though, right?
But that, I mean, when he's talking about the water, they would fill it up with water and have boat fights. That was a real thing in Gladiator 2.
Oh, I see. Now I'm bummed out. I thought they really fought to the death.
Like every time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn, dude. Well, I've got bad news about the WWF also. Oh, my God. Then, you know what? I might as well pull the Band-Aid off if we're already here. Wrestling also.
But it was like akin to pro wrestling. Like they would have like personalities and people would like,
That was a problem in Japan in the early days of MMA. Some of the fights were fixed.
Yeah.
You could tell. And you could tell, like, certain guys would win by leg lock.
Well,
that's where you can stomp and shit,
they'd have
too,
professional
right?
wrestler, like promoters do those MMA fights.
What does it say, Jeremy?
Describing the animal hunts they did, but I'll skip ahead to this part here.
Hypogeum played a vital role in these staged hunts, allowing animals and hunters to enter the arena countless ways. Eyewitnesses describe how animals appeared suddenly from below as if by magic, sometimes apparently launched high into the air. The hypogeum allowed the organizers of the game to create surprises and build suspense. A hunter in the arena wouldn't know where the next lion would appear, or whether 2 or 3 lions might emerge instead of 1.
Yeah, out of those like
Holy
trap doors
shit.
in the bottom, a lion would just jump out and you're watching a dude like hunt lions. How cool is that though?
This uncertainty could be exploited for comic effect.
He goes, guys, I'm not afraid of no bullshit-ass lion. I fuck a lion. He's right behind me, isn't he?
Emperor Gallienus punished a merchant who had swindled the empress, selling her glass jewels instead of authentic ones, by setting him in the arena to face a ferocious lion. When the cage opened, however, a chicken walked out, to the delight of the crowd. Gallienus then told a herald to proclaim he practiced deceit and then had it practiced on him. The emperor let the jeweler go home. Whoa. So they let people... So it wasn't that
Killed
mean.
him days later.
They were less mean than we thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was still pretty brutal.
Well, it was a fucking brutal time to be alive back then, man.
Dude, 1 in 5 got to live. Relax.
1 in 10, maybe 1 in 10.
Maybe even 1 in 10. No
Yeah.
big whoop.
I bet a lot of dudes were sliced up, though. You ever see those Nazi dueling scars where the Nazis in like when they were in like military school, they would have duels with sword fights and their faces would get slashed up, and that was like their badge of courage. So all the Nazis that came over for NASA, they all had these like crazy Nazi dueling scars.
All over their faces?
Yeah, you ever see those?
Mm-mm.
Bro, it's so creepy.
They do the shit we do now in arenas too, with like t-shirt guns.
Ah!
Snacks fell from the sky.
Snacks. As abundantly as hail, one observer noted. along with wooden balls containing tokens for prizes, food, money, even the title to an apartment, which sometimes set off violent scuffles among spectators struggling to grab
Nothing changes today.
Nothing.
There used to be a blimp that would go around the Sixers stadium and drop coupons for Hers potato chips, and I've seen people fall off of balconies for them.
It was as hot as a boiler room in the summer, humid and cold in the winter, and filled all year round with strong smells from the smoke, sweating workmen packed in the narrow corridors, and the reek of the wild animals.
Bathrooms and all.
Did people just shit into holes?
Well, they always did. You know, where would you go if you're hot and you're drunk?
And everybody's got the plague. All right, boys. Should we wrap this bitch up?
Sure.
Yeah, let's bring it home.